be all in. This is a high stakes game, meaning that this is not going to work for you. Well, it's going to work for you, but it's not going to work for you to the degree that I intend, that I'm trying to convey it. If you just see it as meh, a fun thought, something like even just a hobby, that's not enough. This needs to be your number one passion. Your passion itself, the way you're living your life should be your number one passion. It's great to have all these other passions, but if the way that you're living your life, the way you're carrying yourself with you every day, the way that you're managing your vibration, if that is not your number one priority, if your state of being, your state of realization, your state of consciousness is not your number one priority, then life will have its way with you. And by saying life will have its way with you, I'm simply saying that your unconsciousness will have its way with you. Because if you do not show that level of commitment to the way that you're living everyday life, then what happens is you are not in a vibratory state where you can handle the responsibility, where every moment, every reflection is owned as being a reflection of your choices, of your state of being. And if you cannot own that every experience you have, every experience that you run into, quote unquote, is a reflection of your actions, of your choice, of your state of being, of your vibratory response to life, then you are simply, in that sense, no offense, but you're not ready to take on that high state of consciousness, that high state of frequency. And what will take care of your life then? What will then generate your life? It's everything that you've gathered along the way that is not yours, which we call unconsciousness, or the unconscious mind. So if we don't step in, if we don't fulfill the role of living our lives, then our unconscious mind will do it for us. And that's what most people see in everyday life. They see these daily reflections and it just feels like God is punishing them, or life is like a random event generator. And they don't understand that they are generating these experiences, but they've given away their power to their unconscious mind precisely because they're basically opting out of their responsibility because they don't want to be responsible for their state of being. It's hard work in a sense. It's not, but in a sense, it's hard work, meaning it requires some degree of dedication. It requires commitment. It requires devotion. It requires desire. If you do not have the desire for absolute joy to enter your life on all levels of your being, then you're not going to generate that. You're not going to generate the state that will then that's then allowed to consciously take care of that. So everything that's generated for you in your everyday life right now happens from a mixture of conscious and unconscious, and mostly unconscious for most people. It comes from the unconscious source for most people. If you wish to utilize that power, if you wish to become the power of the unconscious mind, that which generates every single molecule in your experience, every single second of your life, then you have to step in your creator's shoes, in that vibratory state where you know that you are responsible for the reflections that you see. Not in a bad way. This is not about self-judgment. It's simply about stepping up to the fact that you desire to be master of your state of being, be master of your frequency, be master of your creation. And you already are, but you're doing so from the unconscious space, which is filled with things that you don't have any control over. You don't know whether you like these things or not. They're all happening from the unconscious. Just random things you collected over the course of your life are now generating this life. That's why it seems so random to so many of you. My life no longer seems random at all. It's very precise. It's very clear. It's very obvious. Sometimes there are question marks. Sometimes there are challenges. But still, that makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that there's challenges. It makes sense to me that there's question marks. It makes sense to me that occasionally I don't immediately understand where something is generated from. It still makes sense to me. It's all part of this very streamlined, concise path. How have I generated that for myself? I've generated that for myself by taking up principles such as these to the T. So you gotta want it. You gotta desire it.